My dad's 91. My daughter surprised my dad and I, and she got us tickets to the World Series.
Oh, fabulous. Wonderful. That's awesome. Great.
That's really cool. Top right corner. Here's, on the old one.
3425, which is 470 West Olive adjourned, and 3438, which is 780 West Beach, that's adjourned also.
Mustaches for kids? What do you do?
And then two of the zoning board members are absent. The last two.
Want me to start? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Can we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Commissioner Lees?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Alton?
Present.
Commissioner Markowitz?
Present.
Commissioner Lees?
Present.
Commissioner Brooks?
Present.
Commissioner Alvarado? Commissioner De Pasquale? Chairman Morelli?
Present.
Commissioners Alvarado and De Pasquale are absent. Let the record indicate the presence of Assistant Corporation Counsel Joseph Lupo. Do the announcements?
Okay, two announcements. So, case number 3425, which is 470 West Olive Street, has been adjourned until further notice. And case number 3438, which is 770 West Beach Street
780.
for a full-service bar, has also been adjourned.
780 West Beach.
Is that,
780 West Beach.
that's what I said, 780 West Beach, no?
You said 770.
Oh,
It's all right,
okay,
we forgive you.
780 West Beach, okay. 770, I was looking at the 780. 770. Okay. Cases for voting?
Case number 3433, application of WHMRE LLC, care of Michael Goldstein of 83 Joyce Road, Plainview, New York, for a variance in the following section of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.5D side yard, in order to maintain a south side yard at 58 California Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as section 59, block 243, lot 25, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Who will introduce a motion on this application?
Move to grant.
Chairman Morelli has introduced a motion to grant the application. Who will second?
I second.
Commissioner Brooks is second on the motion. Commissioner Alton?
Grant.
Commissioner Markowitz?
Grant.
Commissioner Lees?
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks?
Grant.
Chairman Morelli?
Grant.
This application has been granted.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Grant.
Case number 3429, application of Adam Ben Horan of 70 Virginia Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance on the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-113.2G off-street parking, 9-113.2H off-street parking size, for new off-street parking in the front yard at 211 East Penn Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 128, Lot 147, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Good evening, sir. Just your name and address for the record.
What was that?
Name and address for the record.
So Adam Ben Horan, and the address is 211 East Penn Street, Long Beach, New York, 11561.
Okay, now 70 Virginia Avenue is what?
My home address.
Okay, very good.
I have some pictures that I can pass out to you guys, if that's okay.
Now, my
Yes, of
first
course.
question to you, Mr. Ben Horan, is this the subject of a previous application?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Has there been any change?
No.
Okay. So just detail a little bit, because there's a record that we can include from the past application. What was basically the reason you came to us the last time? You wanted a curb cut?
So essentially what happened was I had spoken with Joe Lupo about this. When I first purchased this home, it's my first home that I ever purchased, I wasn't aware that I actually needed a permit, permit for putting in a driveway. I thought that building permits were only for like the actual physical building. Just inexperience, again, my first home. So we had put in the driveway, and then I guess probably a couple of months later, an inspector was driving around, they saw it, and I got the violation for it, at which point we
There
had...
was no curb cut there before?
No, I put the curb cut in.
No, that's what I'm saying. There was no curb cut?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So I got the violation, and we had the hearing. It was during COVID, so it was on Zoom. And I'll be honest, it was, first of all, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect, you know, with the hearing, and the connection was a little bad, and I left the hearing kind of not sure which way it closed, if it was granted, denied. I kind of felt like I was going to get something in the mail, which I never did, because notices, I guess, were being mailed to that address, which is a rental property. So I had actually never got them. The only time I was notified was when my tenant actually called me up and said that there's police at the door, that, you know, they're trying to serve you something. And then I had found out that it was, you know, for this violation that was still ongoing. So I prepared a little statement. I did a little bit of research into it. If you want, I can talk through a couple of those points.
Go ahead.
But I'm also happy to answer any other questions.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead. If you want to read your statement, go ahead.
Yeah, so the property, it's a two-family home. When I bought the home, it had one driveway. That driveway, you can pull one car into it, but once you get to the building, it becomes very narrow. That is pictured it's referenced in picture 1. So it's very hard to actually drive the car past that point. Furthermore, the tenant that lives there that would use that parking, she has a handicapped son. I attached actually a copy of her handicap registration. So, you know, it's very hard for her to even get in there. And also because only one car is able to park up until that point, it kind of creates an issue between both of the tenants of like who's able to park. So it was at that point that, you know, I'd been around Long Beach quite a bit, and I've seen other two-family houses, you know, as I referenced in the other pictures, with pretty much the same setup that I put in. So I figured that it was fine and legal, and that's why I went ahead and did it. I can read off the addresses if you want.
No, the photo's not necessary, because the
Yeah.
photos will show it. We can see it in the photos.
Yeah, I also attached pictures of the driveway that was put in, and I took pictures of the car. It shows it, you know, fits properly, and, you know, it doesn't really affect any of the surrounding area. You know, it's functional for the tenant. You know, she relies on it actually a lot. She thanked me. That was one of the main reasons that I had put it in was, you know, for her. So, you know, she actually really appreciates it. And also my understanding after I got the violation was it's an extra curb cut, which I agree is taking one spot from the street, but it's kind of like net neutral because that one spot, you know, is being taken by a car that's parking in the driveway. So, I've spoken with other neighbors. You know, nobody really has any objections. Actually, one of them had actually texted me when he got the letter that was sent out. He was thinking that I was actually extending the other driveway, but I told him no, and he said, you know, it's fine by him, and I haven't gotten any.
Do you have
other
any
complaints.
letters or anything to present to the board, or no?
What was that?
Do you have any letters from the neighbors that you want to present to the board?
No, I didn't get any letters from them.
Okay. Anybody members of the board have any questions?
I have a couple.
Yes, of course.
Go ahead, please.
So you already did this process, correct?
Correct.
All right. And I wasn't on the board at that time, but it's my understanding that the board actually took your application seriously with that. And they turned around and they looked and they questioned you and they went through the entire process with you and you were denied, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and when you were denied, you had a right to appeal, right? Everybody has a right to appeal from this board. You can do an Article 78 and you can appeal this board. But instead of appealing and doing the process, you're coming back to us with absolutely no change. So my question to you is, what stops any other applicant to just keep coming back to the board with no change and to say, I'm sorry, I forgot, I should have, I would have? it's a problem with the process. And why should we be treating you differently than any other individual who comes before us? Everybody's given a right to, and we listen to everybody, and we're fair and we're honest, okay? But if you just keep coming back, that means other people are just going to keep coming back, and it degrades the process. So maybe it's a rhetorical question, but why should we be treating you any differently than anybody else?
Yeah, so I completely understand that point. You know, the first time that I did have that zoning hearing, again, it was over Zoom. I wasn't familiar with the process of how it works. I left that call, honestly, unsure of if it was actually approved or denied. Again, it was a lot of people talking over each other. My service wasn't the best. Yeah, it just, honestly, I didn't understand the process as well,
Did you
right?
contact the city to ask, to seek clarification?
So I thought that I would get a letter, and again, maybe naively understanding, like, no news is good news sort of thing. But again, only after the fact did I find out that letters were being mailed to that address, which I wasn't receiving, because I don't live there.
Was there a tenant in the home yet?
Yeah, there was periods of vacancies, and again, there's 2 tenants, so I'm not sure which one it would have went to. But I didn't get any letters from them.
What year did you buy the house?
2020.
And how many series of tenants have you had from then until the current tenants have been living there?
So the tenant that actually is with the handicapped son, I actually bought the property with her. So the only unit that's changed is the other one, and that's probably cycled through probably about 4 or 5 times.
Anyone else? Any members of the audience want to speak for or against? Would anyone like to make a motion?
I move to deny the application.
Anyone second? What's that?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Case number 3429, application of Adam Ben-Toren of 70 Virginia Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-113.2G off-street parking, 9-113.H off-street parking size for new off-street parking in the front yard at 211 East Penn Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 128, Lot 147, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Commissioner Markowitz has introduced motion to deny the application. Commissioner Lees has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton?
I'll deny.
Commissioner Markowitz?
Deny.
Commissioner Lees?
Deny.
Commissioner Brooks?
Deny.
Chairman Morelli?
Deny.
This application has been denied.
Am I able to ask a follow-up? Or,
Well, the follow-up is that, as Commissioner Markowitz said, that if you are not happy with the decision, you can file, you have 30 days to file an Article 78. An Article 78 kicks it up to the Mineola Supreme, and then a judge there will review our decision, and if they feel our decision was arbitrary and capricious, they can overrule us.
and what was that called? That was an article?
Article 78.
It's a legal matter. You have to consult an attorney.
Yeah, that's something you do need an attorney for, because it's not going to be like a case you're going to be arguing yourself.
No, for sure, I understand that, but in regards to, again, I understand other properties, it's different situations, right? But being that there are other properties, like as referenced, that have the exact same situation.
That's something that these are your arguments for the Article 78. At this point, this matter is actually officially
resolved.
concluded.
Yeah.
There's nothing, like, the board cannot, they don't have the authority to reopen up this hearing and change their decision. They made a ruling, and that's it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for your time.
Sorry.
Case number 3434, application of Dina Lamana Marowski of 1060 West Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.5C front yard, 9-105.5 building area, F building area, for additions and alterations at 1060 West Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 58, Block 94, Lot 27, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Good evening, Mr. Clark.
Good evening, members. Good evening, members of the board. Is that okay? My name is George Bella from GWB Architect, 120 West Park Avenue, Suite 304, Long Beach, New York, 11561. Sorry, I usually speak very fast. I'm trying to slow it down tonight. I'm here tonight as the architect for Dina Lamana Morawski and Pete Morawski, the owners of 1060 West Park Avenue, in which we're seeking variances for front yard and building area in order to construct a new second-level storage room extension on the north side of the home, that's the Park Avenue side, as well as a ground-level storage shed beneath the existing second-level deck on the Kentucky Street side of the home. This house is located on the southwest corner of Kentucky Street and West Park Avenue. Before I get started, I wanted to correct our response to question number 1 on the application for variance to the Zoning Board of Appeals. Our response indicates that this property had never previously appealed to the Zoning Board. However, this property had requested a variance for the second-level deck in September of 2021. Variance case number 3257 was granted permission to extend the second-level deck to within 1 foot of the east property line, with columns being placed 3 foot from the east property line. The proposed second-level storage room on the north side of the house extends past the north face of the existing house 2 foot 0 inches, but not beyond the existing roof overhang. The proposed space extends to within 2 foot 11 inches of the north property line. It's our intent to reattach the existing canvas awning on the proposed structure. The proposed storage space that would sit beneath the existing second-level deck on the east side of the house is being requested in order to alleviate the need for storage in the existing garage. This will allow the Lamanas to use the existing garage for parking. If granted, this will allow them to more easily get in and out of their home with their new baby. They had a new baby this past spring, which is their second. The structure is aligned with many houses on Kentucky Street and would sit behind the existing deck columns. This would yield a modest interior dimension of 6'4" by 19'3". I would also like to hand in a letter to the board it was written by the Lamanas and signed by one of their neighbors at 102 Kentucky Street, and this expresses that they are in favor of this application. I just had the one copy, yeah. These requests for variances do not cause any undue harm, cause any health, safety, or welfare concerns, nor do they have a negative impact on the surrounding areas. It also does not restrict emergency equipment access or impact the solar rights of others. And for these reasons, we are respectfully requesting that these variances be granted. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Can you walk us through the floor plan layout of the first floor?
Sure. So on the first floor, this is the ground floor, and you enter on the north side. You come up a couple of steps. When you're entering, if you were to look up, that would be the extension that we're proposing on the second floor. That's the part that extends out 2 foot 0 inches. There is an existing foyer that you walk into that would allow you to either go up the stairs to the living space that's used by the Lamanas, and if you take a left, it's now going to be a family area. This is an area that used to be completely separated from the main living space, and it is now included as part of the space that the Lamanas use. If you extend into that area and go back down the hallway, there's an extra bedroom, a bathroom, and then that leads you to the garage.
You said it used to be separate, but now it's a continuation of the living space?
Yes.
How did that happen? What, were like walls removed, or?
Yeah, there was, I think that at one point from a previous owner, there was a wall that is, if you look in the foyer, there's that space that looks like it probably was a closet. When the Lamanas moved in there, that was a closet. They've removed that, and now that allows them access to that main living space. All right, so that work was done by the Lamanas, but it's not part of this project.
There was never another apartment in there at any chance? At any
I believe
time?
there was, but there is not anymore.
Okay. Not since they've had it?
No.
The proposed exterior storage, is it going to have electric in there?
Not that I'm aware of, no. It's not, we're not planning on putting it. It is just for storage space, bicycles, beach chairs, and all the other stuff that comes along with 2 little kids.
So no heating element in there?
No, there's no intention to control temperature or anything like that. This is just for storage.
Any other questions?
2 kids.
Oh, kids.
Kids. Kittens come with a lot of stuff, too.
You know, because, anecdotally, my daughter wants a kitten for Christmas, and my girlfriend is trying to convince me that I need 2 kittens because they need something to, they got to play with each other.
Okay, well,
And
keep
so I
your
was
daughter
gonna
away
ask
from
you
my
about
wife.
2 kittens.
Now you have to get them because you're on record.
My wife is-
YouTube, everything.
My wife is trying to convince me that the dog needs a friend, too, so I feel your pain.
Well,
You're gonna
it
send
doesn't
minutes to
sound,
Holly, you're getting those.
it doesn't sound like much more than a shed or storage, which is a concern. Any other members have any comments? Any members of the audience would like to speak for or against? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to grant.
I'll second.
Case number 3434, application of Dina Lamana Marowski of 1060 West Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.5C front yard, 9-105.5F building area, for additions and alterations at 1060 West Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 58, Block 94, Lot 27, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Commissioner Alton has introduced a motion to grant the application. Chairman Morelli has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton?
Grant.
Commissioner Markowitz?
Grant.
Commissioner Lees?
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks?
Grant.
Chairman Morelli?
Grant.
This application has been granted.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Case number 3435, application of William Brown of 633 West Penn Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following section of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-113.2G off-street parking, for new off-street parking in the front yard at 633 West Penn Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 16, Lot 159, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Good evening. I'm Joseph Gallinaro, 143 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, representing Mr. Brown, owner of 633 West Penn Street. Today, Mr. Brown is interested in requesting off-street parking in the front yard due to the desire to install a swimming pool in the western side of his property. Currently, there's a long side yard that at one point there was used, I suppose, to access a garage that's behind the house that's only really used for storage for the 3 children. We pushed the gate that delineates the pool enclosure area 20 feet back from the property line. I think it's worth it to note that the property line itself starts 3 feet north of the sidewalk. So the fence would be roughly 23 feet from the sidewalk itself. We have a parking area that's 22 feet wide. So between 20 feet deep and 22 feet wide, he would be able to have 2 off-street parking spaces in this actual owner-occupied 2-family house. There is also a proposal for a shed that would be close to the fence, where the children will be using that for their bicycles or beach equipment and so on. And to the north side of the shed, within the shed, there would be the pool equipment. So the pool equipment would be right sort of towards the top of the garage. I'm sorry, top of the driveway. In the back corner, he's proposing to have a outdoor barbecue area with a table and maybe some storage cabinets, and then open space for outdoor seating. On the west side of the house gets a ton of sun, and right now that's where the family is getting together to hang out in the afternoons. The proposed hot tub actually sits inside the footprint of the pool. It's sort of built in. The proposal is for it to be built in. It's not a standalone. There would be no additional work done to the interior of the home or to the garage, the existing garage that's pretty much used as storage now anyway. Any questions?
Are you alternating the curb cut on the Penn Street?
It doesn't seem like it has to be touched. It looks like they'll be able to get in and out.
So instead of having two cars, one front, one higher up into the property line, now they'll be side to side?
Correct.
So we're not losing a spot from the street, and they're still being able to keep two cars on property?
That's correct, yeah. This would be side-by-side parking, not tandem, one in front of the other.
So when you have the new gate, the self-closing hinges, the gate, it's not going to affect the car that's parked there?
If you get a large vehicle, like, let's say, a Chevy Suburban, they're about 16 and a half feet long, and we have about 23 feet. So even if the gate was 4 feet, we'd still have, roughly 19 feet or so to an open gate. So it doesn't seem, and then, they have a family vehicle and a smaller one, so they'll be able to park the smaller one there and not be affected by the gate.
Any other questions? Anyone from the audience like to speak for or against? Anyone with a motion?
I'll make a motion to grant.
I'll second.
Case number 3435, application of William Brown of 633 West Penn Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following section of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-113.2G off-street parking. For new off-street parking in the front yard at 633 West Penn Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 16, Lot 159, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Commissioner Lees has introduced a motion to grant the application. Commissioner Brooks has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alden?
Grant.
Commissioner Markowitz?
Grant.
Commissioner Lees?
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks?
Grant.
Chairman Morelli?
Grant.
This application has been granted.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Case number 3436, application of James Warren of 608 Westchester Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.2C front yard, 9-105.2D side yard, for a side yard addition at 608 Westchester Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 12, Lot 133, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Good evening. Your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, Rebecca Weavers, 143 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, representing James and Krista Warren at 608 Westchester Street. Weavers, W-E-V-E-R-S. So I'm here requesting a front yard variance. So currently it's a two-family dwelling, and they're looking to do a separate entrance for themselves with an overhang. So this proposed covered entry is for personal access into their dwelling. And we are also requesting a side yard variance, which is going to be a garage in the side yard. There's currently 10.8 feet to the side yard from the dwelling, and we are requesting a variance for 1.3 feet to the garage. They currently do not have a garage, just like to be able to store their car there, be able to store other, just use it for storage as well. They have 2 kids, so it's been a little tight, so that's why we're doing the addition, and to give them a little more storage for everything that they have. I do also have a support letter from a neighbor here. Sorry, I did not make any copies, I just have one.
Their lot sizes is 45 by 100 or it's 60 by 100?
45 by 100?
45, it says right here.
Yeah. I was looking at the top, it says 60 wide.
Hey, Rob.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't want you to have to, I was trying to help.
Yeah, no, I saw the 45.
You're very
I
helpful
was just
all the
wondering what the hell
time.
was that? Because that's a 55, that's a 100 by 100 lot. So what's the 60 wide? No, I was just curious because on the survey, it's clearly, or it should be clearly, It looks like a 100 by 100-foot parcel that was divided into a 45 and a 55. But if you look at the scale, you know, this is 55, this is 45, it looks wider, and then on the top it says 60 wide, so that's why I was questioning it. Because if this is done to scale, how can this be 45 and this is 55? It doesn't add up. So the lot size is 45 by 100?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, and so let's talk about the side yard, because that's really, to me, the most substantial. How did it come to pass then, again, Becca, that the side yard is 1.3?
So in order to have a garage, we need a certain width in there to be able to park a car. So we decided to just make that 9-foot interior width to be able to park the car in the dwelling, and we had the remainder of 1.3.
Okay, and what did you say it was previously?
10.8?
Okay. Does the next door neighboring homes on both sides have garages?
You know, that I am uncertain.
Do your clients know?
Do you guys have
One
that?
side does.
You want to just give us your name and address for the record, sir? Just so it's on the, you know, on the,
James Warren, 608 Westchester Street.
thank you.
It's, the neighbor on the east side has a garage, neighbor on
Okay.
the west side.
Is that the neighbor adjacent to where the space would be 1.3?
They do not have a garage.
Okay,
They gave me a support letter, though.
okay. Any members of the board have any questions? No. Anyone in the audience want to speak for or against? No. Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to grant.
Second.
I'll second the motion.
Case number 3436, application of James Warren of 608 Westchester Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.2C front yard, 9-105.2D side yard, for a side yard addition at 608 Westchester Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 12, Lot 133, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Commissioner Lees has introduced a motion to grant the application. Chairman Morelli has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton?
Grant.
Commissioner Markowitz?
Grant.
Commissioner Lees?
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks?
Grant.
Chairman Morelli?
Grant.
This application has been granted.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night. You're welcome. Good night.
Case number 3437, application Evelyn Salette of 543 East Harrison Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance in the following section of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-113.2H off-street parking, for new off-street parking at 543 East Harrison Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 163, Lot 60, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Good evening, ma'am. Name and
evening.
address, please.
Good evening, Board. My name is Evelyn Solette, address 543 East Harrison Street, Long
Okay.
Beach, New York.
So, Ms. Lott, tell us why you're here. You're here for parking space, right?
Yes, I am. When the house was purchased 2 years ago, we were advised by the real estate agent that we can have a driveway on the west side of the home. And we thought about it and we said, okay. And then we had the contractor come in, do the measurements, and file for the permit. And then we were told that we were 8.5 feet as opposed to 9 feet for
Okay.
the driveway. So for
This
the
is-
6 inches, we are applying along with the sidewalk repair, of course, so that could all be done at the same time, and the cutout for the driveway.
So, Ms. Lott, there's no driveway curb cut at the present, right?
There's no driveway now
No curb cut?
on the sidewalk? No.
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 So you're putting that in. So just tell us for the record where the space then would be in relation to the house.
It would be on the west side of the house where you now, I submitted pictures previously.
Yeah.
It's where the red staircase is for the adjoining house. So it would be in that mushy, ugly space there. We would clean that up, of course, and make that a driveway on that side.
That pole in front of the house, that's just a flagpole? or-
That's just a flagpole. There has not been a flag flying there since I purchased the home.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Is that your flagpole?
No, sir, the flagpole was there when I purchased the home. it was nothing on it.
Belongs to the house, though. It belongs to
It's
the
on your
house.
property.
It's
Oh,
on your
yes, it's on the property. We would have that removed, of course, but no, it's not my flagpole. I didn't put it in.
Did you speak to your neighbor about this?
The adjoining house with the red staircase, that house was sold around 6, 7 months ago. There are locks on the gates to the yard and to their humongous driveway. I've not seen anyone there in that period of time.
So you haven't talked to your neighbor about it?
That direct neighbor, no. The previous neighbor who was living in there, he moved out. I had spoken to him. He said, great, do a driveway, but he moved out a while ago.
But if the driveway was 6 inches wider, you'd be able to do it as of right without the
That-
variances. Okay.
That's what the contractor was told when we filed the permit to do. Yes.
Okay. I have no other questions. Any members of the board?
Are you gonna put a fence up, or are you just gonna leave it open?
Yes, we will put a fence up for the privacy for both homes.
Anyone in the audience want to speak for or against? No? I may move to grant.
Second.
Case number 3437, application of Evelyn Salette of 543 East Harrison Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following section of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-113.2H off-street parking for new off-street parking at 543 East Harrison Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 163, Lot 60, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Chairman Morelli has introduced the motion to grant the application. Commissioner Markowitz has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton?
Grant.
Commissioner Markowitz?
Grant.
Commissioner Lees?
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks?
Grant.
Chairman Morelli?
Grant.
This application has been granted.
Thank you, board.
Good luck.
Thank
What's your
you.
dog's name?
My what?
The dog in the picture.
Oh, that's Havana. From
Havana?
Havana from a trip to Cuba, yes, Havana. We adopted her as posh pets here in Long Beach.
Oh,
Yes.
boy, I got both of mine.
Thank you. That's right. Thank you
Good
very
night,
much.
man.
Good night.
Take care, everyone.
Next.
Case number 3439, application of Hunter O'Neill of 96 Georgia Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.19C lot area, 9-105.19D building area, 9-105.19E front yard, 9-105.19F side yard, 9-105.19G rear yard, for a new one-family house at 18 New Hampshire Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 251, Lot 11, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Hi, good evening. Name and address, please.
Good evening. Hunter O'Neill, 96 Georgia Avenue, Long Beach, New York, 11561.
Okay. So now let's take you through all the different variances that you're, looking to get relief from. So the minimum lot size, just because of location where it is 30 by 60, am I correct?
No, that's 40.
No, it's 40 by 100.
Oh, you're 40 by 100, okay.
Yes.
Requires a minimum lot size, you have an existing area, 30 by 60.
Yeah, so basically this home, just for the board's clarity, is in Residence District M. Approximately 100 feet to the north is Residence District E. This is a Residence District E lot size that is in Residence M. M as in, yeah.
Okay, so now, let's talk about the building area. So at 40% is what is allowed, and you're getting 56% or asking for 56%. So just give us like a little walkthrough of the size of the house.
Okay, yeah, so the house that I'm proposing to build is the house I'm proposing to move in. It's no different than, all the other FEMA compliant houses that are just in Zone E. It's a 3-story house. I'm honestly really here because of the zone that I'm in, because I'm south of Ocean View. That the house I'm building, the project aligns with the character of our neighborhood. The design and the materials I plan to use are consistent with nearby homes and sorry, ma'am. Let's see where I'm at. The design and materials I plan to use are consistent with nearby homes, ensuring that my house will fit seamlessly into the community. I have taken care to ensure that this project will not be detrimental to nearby properties. I believe my plans will enhance the area rather than detract from it. The home is designed to maintain the aesthetic appeal of our neighborhood. There will be no negative impact on the environment. My home will incorporate state-of-the-art heating, plumbing, and insulation. These features not only promote energy efficiency, but also ensure the comfort and safety of future occupants. I'm also providing off-street parking to minimize any impact on local traffic and ensure that the street remains accessible for all residents and visitors. I'm not asking for a substantial variance. I'm simply asking for what's needed to be able to build. I believe this project will be a valuable addition to our community, and the only hardship we have here is the size of the lot.
Mr. O'Neill, did you talk to Mr. Apple before you wrote that?
No.
It sounded just like him. All right, so I think what Chairman Morelli was asking, the dimensions of the house. So I believe that the house itself probably is in character with the neighborhood. It's just that because the lot is smaller, now it's 56% of the lot as opposed to the 40. So what are the dimensions of the house? Is it, 20 by 20, et cetera?
That's basically what I was getting at, is,
Yeah.
how big is the house on the footprint of 30 by 60?
We just want to make sure that you're falling victim just to the size of the lot, and it's
Right.
not like some monstrosity that's...
Yeah, so the house of the new house that I'm proposing would have the 4-foot rear yard setback, 4 foot on the side, and the 10-foot setback in the front. So the side of the house.
Do you know the dimensions of the house itself?
Yeah, let me just give me one
Take
second.
your time, there's no rush.
All right.
Yes, we're rushing. We're almost done.
Don't make them nervous.
For the record, there's no rush.
So it's
I'm finally being nice, and now you're like giving me some...
it's 22. It's 22 wide.
Okay.
By 46.
Okay.
Mr. O'Neill, just out of curiosity, just to make it maybe even more simple, how much, wider on the lot is this new house in comparison to what was there before? I mean, I got to imagine that the old house probably occupied a substantial amount of a 30 by 60 also.
Yeah, so the existing house, it has a porch out in front, would that be considered the front setback as well?
Yeah, because I'm looking at the survey, which I'm assuming obviously is the old house. And so basically, let's take that old house. Where are you in the front in terms of where your house comes to the property line in comparison to the old house with the open porch?
So the old house porch comes right to the property line.
Okay. And let's say on the rear yard, looking at the photograph here, or the photograph, looking at the survey, it doesn't look like there was 15 feet in the rear yard of the old house either. If anything, it looks like it might have been 4 feet with the old house.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So that was previously deficient as well. The code requires 5 and 8, and looking at the old house that existed there, one-story frame and stucco residence, I'm not seeing 5 and 8 on the old house either.
Correct.
Okay. So the front yard, which we're looking for normally by code 20 feet, I'm not seeing 20 feet on the old house either.
Correct.
So I would say, and I'm not your lawyer, but I would say it's safe to say that although the new house is requiring variances for building area, front yard, side yard, and rear yard, it is not substantially different than what was there before.
Correct.
Okay. Safe to say, right?
Correct.
Okay. But I'm not advising, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Basically, you're not looking for any height variance, am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. And your house is going to be basically raised FEMA compliant, 1 garage or 2 garages, 2 garages or 1 underneath the house?
1 garage, 2 cars for the
Okay.
off-street parking. Yeah, 1 in and then 1 underneath.
What's the total height of this from the street line? I mean, I know it doesn't need a variance, but I'm just curious.
The height is 24.8.
Okay. So You're not building something that's out of character with the neighborhood. You're not building something that requires any substantial variances over what existed now. I have no further questions. Any members of the board have any questions? No. Anybody in the audience want to speak for or against? Yeah, the houses next door are huge. Anybody in the audience? No. There's nobody in the audience. Anyone want to make a motion? I'll move to grant.
Second.
Case number 3439, application of Hunter O'Neill of 96 Georgia Avenue, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following sections of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.19C lot area, 9-105.19D building area, 9-105.19E front yard, 9-105.19F side yard, 9-105.19G rear yard, for a new one-family house at 18 New Hampshire Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 251, Lot 11, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Chairman Morelli has introduced the motion to grant the application. Commissioner Markowitz has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton?
Grant.
Commissioner Markowitz?
Grant.
Commissioner Lees?
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks?
Grant.
Chairman Morelli?
Grant.
This application has been granted.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Good night. Good luck.
Case number 3440, application of Jordan Levitt of 96 Barton Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following section of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.8C front yard, for a new front yard deck at 96 Barton Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 204, Lot 2, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map.
Good evening, Mr. Levitt. What is your address?
I live at 77 Coronado Street in Atlantic Beach currently. 96 Barnes is my permanent residence that I'm
Oh, so you
renovating.
own this home now and
Yes, sir.
you're building this home out. Okay. So it looks like you're here before the board for basically a front yard setback variance. So now, what is necessitating that? Are you building a deck on the front of your house?
Yes, sir. So the house previously was in disrepair. There were years and years of neglect on the front of the house, and the front of the foundation of the house was sinking. The front deck had to be removed because it was unsafe. So we've essentially rebuilt the whole front of the house, and we want to replace the deck. The biggest change that we're making is that the previous deck ended at a large fireplace, which was the thing that was sinking the front of the house. We've removed that fireplace, and the new deck we want to run continuously across the front of the house. And of course, we want to take advantage of the maximum amount of space.
Okay. Now, what's the lot size, 40 by 57?
Yeah, it's 40 by 56 and change.
Okay.
It's actually the only house on that block that's not on a double lot. So we're the only one on the whole block that doesn't have a side yard or a pool or anything else, so that
Right.
space is pretty important.
And Barnes is not on the water. Barnes is a
No,
landlocked
That's correct.
block.
Yep.
Okay. So basically, you're building a typical deck, and you're asking for a 1-foot setback, and the footings are going to be 2 feet in from that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is something that we've been routinely approving. I don't have any further questions. Any members of the board? No? All right, there's no one in the audience. I'm going to move to grant.
I'll second.
Case number 3440, application of Jordan Levitt of 96 Barton Street, Long Beach, New York, for a variance from the following section of the zoning code of ordinances of the city of Long Beach, New York. 9-105.8C front yard, for a new front yard deck at 96 Barton Street, Long Beach, New York, also known as Section 59, Block 204, Lot 2, on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. Chairman Morelli has introduced a motion to grant the application. Commissioner Brooks has seconded the motion. Commissioner Alton?
Grant.
Commissioner Markowitz?
Grant.
Commissioner Lees?
Grant.
Commissioner Brooks? Commissioner Brooks? Commissioner Brooks?
Yes, Grant.
Grant.
Chairman Morelli?
Grant.
This application has been granted.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Good evening, Mr. Levitt.
We're done.
You lost. Mike?
You want to close it? I'll shut the
Michael.
camera off.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting is now closed.
Mr. Lund, you too.
Wow.
All right,
The
so
over-under.
45 minutes.